Hello viewers, welcome back. In this video, we are going to be learning VLAN plus DHCP. Okay, how to assign, how to configure DHCP pool for VLANs. Okay, so we are going to use DHCP for VLANs. So here you can see we have two VLANs, VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. The green color that you are seeing is VLAN 10 and the red one is VLAN 20. So in VLAN 10, we have two PCs. In VLAN 20, we have two laptops. And VLAN 1, which is default VLAN, we have a laptop here. So I'm going to configure access port uh, for the ports that connect PCs and laptops. So these ports, these AP access ports, these are access port because access port carries traffic for a specific VLAN. So this access port is carrying traffic for only this specific VLAN 20, and this access port is carrying traffic for only VLAN 10, and this access port is carrying traffic for VLAN 20, and this access port is carrying traffic for only VLAN 10, and this port is not on access port because for VLAN 1 default VLAN we don't assign any access port, we don't configure any access port here. By default, all the interfaces on your switch are configured as VLAN 1. Okay, so here is the difference between trunk port and access port. Trunk port carries traffic for any VLAN. So this is the trunk port which connects router and switch. So this port is called trunk port because this port is carrying traffic for all the VLANs, any VLAN, whether it is VLAN 10 or VLAN 20 or the default VLAN, it will carry the traffic. Okay. Then access port carries traffic for a specific VLAN. Here you can see access port. This port is carrying traffic for only VLAN 10. So that's why they're called access ports. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 on the switch. Then I will configure the VLANs on the respective interfaces. Here interface 0/1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. So interface 0/1 and 3 belong to VLAN 10, and interface 0/2 and 4 belong to VLAN 20, and interface 0/5 belong to default VLAN. So we don't configure any configuration on the interface 0/5. Just we are going to do the configuration on the interfaces between 0/1 to 0/4. So let's get started. Okay, now I am the switch enable and config T. And I'm going to create VLANs. VLAN 10. VLAN 10 has been created. Let's exit. Then VLAN 20. Then VLAN 20 has been created. So it's very simple. We have created two VLANs, VLAN 10 and VLAN 20. Now I'm going to configure the VLANs on the respective interfaces. So interface 0/1, 0/1 and 0/3 belong to VLAN 10. So opening now switch port mode. First we have to select the mode. We have two modes, access and trunk. Here it is an access port because it carries traffic for VLAN 10 only. So access mode, access, then switch port, access. Which VLAN we are going to allow? VLAN 10, because you can see here this PC belongs to VLAN 10. So VLAN 10 we are assigning. Next interface 0/3. Here the same configuration. Switch port mode access, then switch port access VLAN 10. So we are allowing VLAN 10 traffic only here. On this interface, we are allowing VLAN 10, this interface and that interface. So these interface are belonging to VLAN 10. So we allow VLAN 10. Switch port access VLAN 10. Next 0/2 and 0/4 belong to VLAN 20. So switch port mode access because they are access port. Now switch port access VLAN 20. We are allowing VLAN 20 traffic only on the interface. In interface F0/4. Switch port mode access because access port. Then we are allowing VLAN 10 traffic, VLAN 20 traffic on the interface F0/4. Then this interface F0/7. This is not the perfect interface. I'm going to give 0/1 gigabit. So now so far we have configured access ports. So let's check the intra-VLAN communication. For intra-VLAN communication, we don't need a router here, and we don't need a trunk port as well for intra-VLAN. So I'm going to initiate the traffic from VLAN 10 to VLAN 10. Let me show you. It is successful. PC1 to PC0, 0. So PC1 here and PC0. So successful. Now laptop 0 to laptop 1, successful. So intra-VLAN communication is happening. So far we are doing good. Let me check the inter-VLAN communication. For inter-VLAN communication, we have to configure trunk port. Okay, so without configuring trunk port, we cannot be able to ping. Okay, so let me try again. VLAN 10 to VLAN 10, successful. So inter VLAN is happening. For intra VLAN is happening. So for inter VLAN, we have to configure trunk port and router. So we are going to create sub interfaces on the router. Sub interfaces are nothing but virtual interface on the router. They will function as the default gateway for their respective VLANs. For example, if I create a virtual interface 10 means that interface will be act as the default gateway for VLAN 10. And if I create .20 interface, virtual interface, that interface will act as default gateway for VLAN 20 traffic. And the physical interface will be for VLAN 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable routing here. Without enabling routing, we cannot route the packet. So then interface 0/0. Is it 0/0? Let me check. Yeah, 0/0. Now I'm going to give IP address. So which IP address? So to configure VLAN, each VLAN should be in different subnet. So for VLAN 10, there should be in different subnet, and VLAN 20 should be in different subnet. So they should be in different subnet. Okay, so each VLAN should be in different subnet. So I'm going to give 10 subnet for VLAN 10 and 20 subnet for VLAN 20. And the IP address range I'm going to give is 172.20.1.1. This is our original, our physical interface IP address. For VLAN 10, I'm going to give 172.20.10.0. So this is our VLAN 10. This IP address for VLAN 10 and VLAN 20.20.1/24. So this IP address is for VLAN 20. So 20 subnet for VLAN 20 and 10 subnet for VLAN 10, and this one subnet for VLAN 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign these IP address on the interfaces. So for the physical interface, I'm going to assign this interface, this IP address 172.20.1.1. Okay, so 172.20.1.1, and the subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. Okay, so far it is good. So far it is good. So far it is good. Then I'm going to create, so no shut. We have to give no shut. Okay, we give a no shut, then exit. No. So interface. So now I'm going to create virtual interface for VLAN 10. It's very simple. .10. I'm just adding the .10, which means I'm creating this interface for VLAN 10. Okay. Sub interfaces. Here you can see sub interface. So I have created sub interface for VLAN 10. Now I'm going to assign the IP address, which is 10.1. So very simple. I have given 10.1 here. Then encapsulation .1q 10. This command should be given because here it will add the .1q tagging. For this command is for tagging, VLAN 10 tagging. So .1q is the protocol and VLAN 10 is for the tagging. So by using the tag, the switch and the router will make the forwarding decision based on the tags. Okay. Next, I'm going to create virtual interface for VLAN 20. So just I'm giving 20 here, dot 20, then encapsulation, dot 1Q 20, then IP address is 20 subnet. So I have given 20 subnet here. So I have configured the IP address on the router. I'm hitting exit. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to assign trunk port on the switch interface 0/1. So interface G0/1. Then switch port mode trunk. Switch port mode trunk. Then switch port trunk allowed VLAN all. So I'm going to allow permit all VLANs. So all VLANs, whether it is VLAN 1, VLAN 20, and VLAN 20, VLAN 10, all VLANs are permitted. So all VLAN can, any VLAN can traverse the trunk port. Okay. Now let me show you VLANs database. Here you can see default VLAN 0/5, 6, 7, 8. Here 0/5 default VLAN, because we didn't configure VLAN 1, but by default VLAN 1, all the ports belong to VLAN 1. Then VLAN 10 0/1 and 0/3. Then VLAN 20 is active. Here you can see the status, they are active, and 0/2 and 0/4 belong to VLAN 20, and these VLANs are default, Cisco default. They are used for token ring and FDDI. Okay. And here you can see the MTU, maximum transmission unit, for the interfaces. Now all the configurations are done. Let me check the inter VLAN communication. Okay, VLAN 10 to VLAN 20 failed because IP address is not configured yet. So we have to create DHCP pool on the router for each VLAN. But it is happening. You can see it is happening. Intra VLAN communication is happening without an IP address. I'll show you how it is happening. As you can see here, DHCP is enabled. Let me show you. Here also DHCP is enabled, but they are able to communicate because they have this IP address 169.255.148.33. So this IP address is called APIPA, Automatic Private IP Addressing. So this IP address, this range 169.254, this range is called APIPA, Automatic Private IP Addressing. Now we have enabled DHCP on the PCs, but we don't have a DHCP server yet. So that's why in this situation, what the PCs will do is they will assign an IP address from this range. This is called IPPA range. So IPPA, this protocol allows PCs to assign IP address themselves. So they will assign IP address themselves. So here you can see every PC has assigned an IP address from IPPA range. Here you can see 169.254, 184. You can see they are different. Here you can see 80, but the range is same, 169.254. This is the range APIPA. So whenever the DHCP server is not available, the PCs will assign an IP address from this range APIPA. This IP address cannot be routed through the internet. Okay, this can be only used in the local area network. This cannot be routed. That's why we are able to ping PC1 to PC0 because they belong to the same broadcast domain. So what we have done here is we have separated a single local area network into 3 local areas. Okay, one is VLAN 10, VLAN 20, and VLAN 1, which is default VLAN. So before creating VLAN, the broadcast traffic from PC1 will be received by all the laptops and PCs in the network. But now the broadcast from the PC1 will only be received by PC0. So others will not receive the broadcast. Okay, and also the broadcast from VLAN 10 only be received by PCs in the VLAN 20. So this is the concept. So we are reducing the broadcast traffic and ensuring the better performance. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to create DHCP pool on the router. IP DHCP pool. This pool is for LAN. So I'm going to give LAN. No, I'm going to give VLAN 1. So this pool is for VLAN 1. So the range network. Now I'm going to give network for VLAN 1 172.20.1.0 and the subnet mask dot 250.255.0. So now the pool has been created. Then default gateway, we are defining default gateway. Default gateway here, the IP address for VLAN 1. So the default router for VLAN 1 is 172.20.1.1. Here you can see 172.20.1.1 for VLAN 1 and 172.20.10.1 for VLAN 10 and 172.20.20.1 for VLAN 20. Okay. Next, another pool. I'm going to create another pool. So I'm going to create VLAN 10, pool name VLAN 10, and the network. It's very simple. Just I'm going to add T0 here. Here you can see DHCP address conflict, server pinged. So somebody has taken an IP address 172.20.1.1 is pinged. Now let's see. Here we have got the default gateway and we have got an IP address here. As you can see here 172.20.1.2. So we got an IP address from the DHCP server. Okay, server pinged. Next, IP DHCP pool VLAN 10. Then the network is given. Then the default router is 10.1. So 10.1. So this is also pinged. 172.20.10.1 also pinged, but we didn't assign default gateway that time. So we have to do the DHCP process again on VLAN 10 because default route wasn't given that time. And VLAN 20, pool name VLAN 20. Next, network 20 and default route also 20.1. Okay, let's wait and see what is happening here. Okay, let's go to VLAN 10. Here you can see the IP address. We got the IP address, but default gateway we didn't get because that time we didn't assign. Now I'm trying again. Now we got the default gateway. Okay, now let's go to this PC. Here also default gateway wasn't assigned. I'm doing this process again. Now we got the default gateway. Now let's go to VLAN 10. Okay, you're not getting IP address. Let's do the process again. Yeah, we got the IP address. And let's see the default gateway. So we got the default gateway, and DNS IP address wasn't given in the pool. So if you give DNS address, that will also shown here. Okay, that will be also shown here. Okay, we got the IP address. Now let's try inter VLAN. Failed. Let's try this again. Successful. Here you can see successful. Let me do this. This here. Failed. Do this again. Successful. Okay, now we are getting successful. From here to here, failed. So the first packets are dropping. Successful. Let's try. Failed. Try again. Successful. So inter VLAN communication is happening here. So inter VLAN communication is happening. So far VLAN is good. Okay, let's try the process. Here you can see VLAN 10 to VLAN 20, then VLAN 20 to VLAN 10, then again VLAN 10 to VLAN 20, successful, then VLAN 20 to VLAN 1 also successful, and VLAN 10 to VLAN 1 also successful. So we got the IP address using DHCP, and we have created VLANs, and we have created the trunk port. So here one thing, the VLAN 1 default VLAN, we didn't assign any access port here. Then how the trunk port is allowing traffic from VLAN 1? Because here is a concept called native VLAN. By default, VLAN 1 is configured as native VLAN. Native VLAN is nothing but a VLAN that traverses the trunk port without a VLAN tag. So here, the traffic from VLAN 10 and VLAN 20 are traversing the trunk port with VLAN tag, but the traffic from VLAN 1 is traversing the trunk port without VLAN tag. So this is the concept. Okay, so by default, VLAN 1 is configured as native VLAN. So if you want, we can change that. Let me show you how to change that. Let me try that. Okay, config T. Now interface G0/1. This is the trunk port interface. Switch port, trunk, native, VLAN. So I'm going to give VLAN 10. So now VLAN 10 becomes native VLAN. So the traffic from VLAN 10 traverse the trunk port without VLAN tag. So let me show you. Now I'm going to ping VLAN 1 to the default gateways. Now it's failed because here the trunk port is blocking traffic from VLAN 1 because now they no longer a native VLAN. That's why it's blocking traffic from VLAN 1. Now I'm going to ping VLAN 10 to VLAN 10 to default gateway, and it's successful. Okay, now I'm going to change the configuration. Okay, it's port native VLAN 1 again. So it is changed to default. Now let's try this again. Okay, VLAN 1 to default gateway, successful. As you can see here, successful. So this is the difference between VLANs and native VLANs. And another VLAN is called private VLAN, and we will see that in another video. And thanks for watching the video. If you have any doubt, please put it in the comment section. There I will answer your doubts. And thanks for watching the video. See you. Bye bye.